Hey everyone, it's Strange Michael. I hope you're doing well today. I have a review here for a newer horror film that came out towards the tail end of 2023. It was beloved, it was discussed all the time. I rented it, but apparently it's also streaming on Shudder, I believe. It's from Damien Rugna, I believe. Is that his name? Damien Rugna, who also did Terrified from about 5 or 6 years ago, also on Shudder, which was something that creeped me out a lot. I saw it, very cool, above average kind of haunted house film. Definitely a recommendation on my opinion, personally. Now, both films are Spanish-spoken films, so you have to watch them with subtitles. But When Evil Lurks is the newest film that we're talking about here, and this is a really solid film that I think might be better than Terrified. I'm not really sure. Both have some really cool things about them in a demon-possessed, ghost, haunted house way that I really dig quite a bit. When Evil Lurks is basically following two brothers when the end of the world may happen because of a man who is giving birth to evil. Yes, that sounds goofy and stupid, but when I say giving birth to evil, I mean literally. Like, they walk into a room, this dude is swollen, he's humongous, apparently pregnant with something, they don't know what it is yet, but there's some urban myths and legends and stuff that they believe could be the solution of what's actually happening here, and they're like, holy shit, we gotta get rid of this body. And they try to, and they lose the body somehow. And then it begins this whole pandemic, basically, of people getting possessed by demons. And you don't know who is possessed, who's not, and the dudes struggle. Both of these brothers try to gather up their families and go away as far out of the city as they possibly can. And there's some really creepy shit in this movie, just like there was in Terrified from Damien Rugna, the other film I just mentioned. This is such a well-performed film. Everybody's performance is great here, including the one son that I don't know if he's autistic in real life or not. He was incredible in this film, despite whatever. This was such an eerie film that even my wife, who does not speak Spanish, does not give a shit about horror films, but sat in the room reading a book while I was watching this, put her book down and watched a lot of it with me, because of how unnerving this was, how spooky it was, and how enjoyable it was. Just all of the family dynamic, the drama amongst the family members, the two brothers and how they're struggling so hard to be tough, strong men during this situation. I sat there and I thought, I don't know what I would do in this situation if it was me. I don't even have a brother, but if I did, I don't know what I would do in this situation. I would be absolutely petrified or terrified. Anyway, this is about an hour and 40 minutes long. The movie zooms by, dude. You'll never even feel it. But let me tell you, you will be having moments throughout this movie that you'll totally be shocked by it. Certain twists, certain events that you just don't see coming, and certain frightening scares that you'll never see coming. This is the kind of film that I could see horror normies who are willing to read subtitles because they do it for anime. Instead of praising shit like Talk to Me, they would praise something like this, I would hope. When Evil Lurks is so much better than most of those things. It's not my favorite horror film of the year. That probably goes to Infinity Pool, if I'm being honest with you. But it's not my favorite horror film of the year, but it's really good for what it is. And it's definitely above average, really close to being almost a masterpiece in a lot of ways. It's super engaging, and even the practical effects in here are horrific. They really are. There's some great stuff in here I will never forget that will be etched and burned into my brain, especially the poster that you saw on my thumbnail, or probably seen floating around all over the internet that people have talked about. This stuff is burned into my brain the rest of my life. I don't even speak Spanish, but it was incredible. It was incredible. I don't really watch a lot of subtitled films anymore. I used to, but not anymore. I feel like it kind of takes away a lot of the time from the experience. But you don't have to focus so much on that in this particular movie. It has a lot of great family drama, excellent writing, and again, really great performances for a horror movie. How often do you see that, American or otherwise? It's pretty awesome. I really enjoyed that. There is a little bit of CGI in the film, and it's not horrifically noticeable, but the practical effects and everything else, including the directing, the filming, all of that, the cinematography looks so great that it just overcompensates for everything else. And I mean that in a positive way. You know, I loved this. If you haven't seen When Evil Lurks, you definitely need to give it time and a chance. If you're willing to sit down and rent it or whatever, give it some time. If you're willing to read some subtitles, it's really good for what it is. Above average, for sure. Not a masterpiece, but above average. Definitely one of the top 5 horror films or just movies in general that I saw in the terrible year that was 2023. God, what a bad year for movies. I've been saying it in every review I've been doing recently to catch up on movies I missed in 2023. Anyway, When Evil Lurks. If I had to rate this film on a 5-star basis, I've kind of beat this around a little bit in my head, but I think I would be willing to give it a really high 4 out of 5 stars. It's not a 5. It's in that 4 out of 5 star range. I almost gave it a 3 because of the ending not being the most satisfying thing ever, but everything else building up to it were so good, and the premise, the concept. I went into this film knowing nothing. I recommend you do too, aside from the very small hint of what I gave you here. Try to know nothing going into it, and you'll love it, I really think. But anyway, I think it deserves the 4 out of 5 stars. Really competently made film, one of the most amazing posters that reminds me a lot of another film from the director of The Strangers called The Dark and the Wicked. So there's a lot of cool stuff that's been coming out in the horror, low-budget movie range, if you will. It's amazing how something like this and Godzilla -1, which I haven't seen yet, I've been looking for it, but I can't get my hands on it. It's nowhere out near me anymore. Both of these films having the low budget they had and getting better praise than shit that was like $400 million, like the Marvels or the new Transformers film or whatever, is incredible to me. Anyway, 2023 had many, many, many duds, but this particular movie especially, were not one of them. Anyway, 4 out of 5 stars for When Evil Lurks. Have you seen it? What do you think about it? I'd love to hear your thoughts and comments about it down in the comment section down below. Let me know everything you think. Is this your favorite horror film of 2023? That'd be a very interesting conversation to have as well. Thank you all for watching, guys. God bless you all, and goodbye.